What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Founder Academy. I say welcome back because it's been a minute since we've posted one of these videos. So I will get into the reasons for all of that, how come I've been kind of lazy with the channel, and what the changes I'm going to make on the channel are in a second. I just want to address what you guys are seeing on the screen here. To start the video, we did a bunch of Prime Icon packs in this video, and this is probably my favorite one. It's the only one that's actually still in the squad, which I also will talk about throughout the course of this video as to why I don't recommend doing the Prime Icon pack. So we got Bear Camp in our first one. When we did our first Icon pack, I don't know what happened to that footage. I think it's just like it was too old. I decided not to use it. And then we put him in there with a bunch of other high-rated cards and got Thierry Henry. So Thierry Henry, will do a little bit of a mini review here again in this video. But you know, very good card, somebody I'm very pleased with, definitely the highest valued Prime Icon that I packed all year, I would say. 700k, 700 something, and one of the more desirable ones. I would consider him like a B tier icon. He's not like an A because I don't want to put him up with like Maradona and Hullet and Ronaldo and Pele and all these guys. It's just, you know, he's a very, very good card. A lot of Arsenal fans, a lot of Thierry Henry supporters, but not somebody that I look at and I say, oh my god, I had to have him. So with that being said, before we jump into all of these SBCs, there's going to be a lot, very SBC heavy video, this video. I want to address some changes to the channel. So this is actually the second or third time I'm having to record this, so I can't remember what I've talked about and what I haven't talked about. And the reason for that is because my mom called. So FaceTime from my mother got me all distracted. Hi, Mom, if you're watching this. But yeah, so I want to talk about some changes to the channel. So as you guys know, I'm trying to get this channel off the ground. If you're watching these early stage videos, it's probably because you're a friend of mine or you're just, you came across this and maybe you like the content or whatever. But I appreciate everyone's support, especially who are getting in at the ground floor. However, one of the challenges that I've had, one of the many challenges with like starting again from YouTube. So I started this channel a couple of years ago, took a break, which was my mistake, and then kind of came back to it. It's hard to develop momentum. Like it's not a sprint to build a YouTube channel or even a Twitch following. It's a marathon. So if you aren't consistent, you'll kind of go up and then you'll kind of dip and then you'll go up and you'll dip. And unless you're consistently, streaming or creating content, it's hard to create that momentum. So that's one of the things that I need to even get better at now. So with that being said, I'm still trying to work out a lot of the kinks and what's going to work and what's not going to work. And one of the biggest issues I have is it's taking me a really long time to create and edit and record and render and do all the titles and the tags and make a screen for the thumbnail, and it's a lot of work. So that last video that I did, for example, the handicap one, that was like 4 days worth of work, because not only did we have to do all that stuff, but I wanted to reach out to Spencer and get Gorilla's like his help actually using his footage and everything like that, and get his approvals, and I had to review it. And when you're making a video talking about something that you theorize is in the game, you can't just speak off the top of your head. You need to kind of plan it out. And even then, there were still a lot of learnings from that in terms of like the audio. Like for example, I had my fan on and I didn't realize it was picking up my fan, so I might have to re-record some stuff on that video and re-release it again at some point. So there's all these little learnings that you pick up. Like it's not a matter of just like, hey, it's a 30-minute video, it took them 30 minutes and you just put it out. Like it can take up to a day to a couple days to put out one video. Like even this, like I told you guys earlier, my mom called, so I'm having to restart the recording, and that's 30 minutes worth of recording, right? Like 15 minutes into it, she calls, and next thing you know, I'm having to start again. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The solution to all of this is that I've decided that in order to kind of help grow the channel, I'm going to have to probably stream as well. As you guys know, a lot of big content creators, they stream, they do YouTube and vice versa, whatever channel they get into, and then they get into the other one, and then they cross-pollinate. So I'm never going to have the time to be a full-time streamer or a full-time content creator. So I'm going to have to, that was my main reason for not doing both. However, I spoke with a good friend of mine, Mayar, who actually has a channel on YouTube. Go check it out. It's called No Fun City. Very Vancouver based, but he does a lot of tech reviews and stuff, just like a really funny character. He's been helping me kind of navigate some of the stages with growing a channel early on. And one of the things that he recommended was to do streams, and then you can chop up the stream so that way I don't have to do a post-com, and then take that and put that into like video format. Now, rather than actually just take the whole video, which he suggested, I'm going to like I said, chop it up, and I want to make these videos kind of between a half an hour to an hour. I like that kind of window of the 30-minute long form. I like watching like Nepenthes and some of these other guys do their RTGs. Some people like snackable stuff, really short things. I like kind of the long form because I like something I can just like lie, you know, late in bed and kind of watch very mindlessly and not have to worry about going and finding a new video every 2 or 3 minutes, right? I like the fact that they're longer form. So that's kind of what I want for my channel. But with that being said, I also need your guys' feedback. You know, what do you like to consume? Don't just think of me, like, what do you guys like to watch yourself? Like, do you like shorter stuff? Do you like longer stuff? Like, please feel free to leave this stuff down below in the comments. Like, I really want people's feedback on what they want to see, because I'm trying to get a better understanding. Like, I don't want to produce just the stuff that I want. I want to produce the stuff that people want to watch, right? So if they find me funny or stupid or whatever and just want to watch my content, like, that's what I need to get a better handle on, is like, where do I fit in? And like, you know, am I wasting my time making a long form video? I'm never going to be that guy that gets up and throws a chair when he packs something. You know, I'm not that type of guy. I'm a very, you know, even keel type of dude. So, you know, you're not going to get like me overreacting and screaming into a microphone unless you're watching me play FUT Champs. But, you know, that's just not my style. It's not really where I'm at. So try to keep that in mind. But at the same time, from a length side, like, what do you guys like to watch, right? So again, I'm going to probably go into back into streaming, start doing that more on a regular basis, and start to grow that channel as well. And when I can drive people to the YouTube, I'll do that. And when I can get the YouTube people to start watching my streams, I'll do that as well, and kind of try to build both audiences and see whichever one can pick up more momentum. If not both, that would be ideal. So anyway, I'm going to leave the link to my stream. My name on Twitch now is @TheFutFounder, all one word. I was very lucky to get that. I was very thankful that that still existed. But one of the things that I do want to mention to the people that were actually following my previous Twitch was @MWeezy04. That was my old name. That's my, you know, my handle on PSN. But I got away from that because I wanted to actually like rebrand around something that's more FIFA related. So I had to create a new Twitch account. So if you're following my old account, I'm going to need you to follow the new one. Or I don't need you to do it, but I hope that you guys would choose to do it. But please feel free to follow the new one. I'm going to be posting this in my Twitter as well. So whenever there's a new, or whenever I go live, I'll post it on Twitter so you guys can just jump in. But like, I love when you guys come in, even if it's only a couple people, right? There's been streams where I've literally streamed to 0 people, right? Which I don't even care. Like, I like being in there, but if 1 or 2 people come in, you know, say something in the chat. And even if it's, you know, hopefully you're not hating on me, but at the same time, if you just want to interact with me, like, I always interact with my chat. It's something that I always like to do. I like to talk clearly. So yeah, come in there and just check it out. So I'll leave the link down below to my Twitch account, and yeah, my handle is going to be @TheFutFounder. Hopefully I can figure out a way to superimpose that into this video. If not, I'm just pointing down below. But yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I look forward to streaming a lot more because it's very low maintenance and it's a lot of fun to do. So anyway, back into what you guys are watching, the actual gameplay itself. Not gameplay, but SBCs. You're seeing a whole lot of these SBCs. So what am I doing? So I made a huge, I don't want to say a huge mistake, but I got sucked into the Prime Icon SBC. And I did the same thing that 99% of people that do the Prime Icon SBCs did, which is I want Ruud Gullit and Maradona and Pele and Ronaldo and all these high-rated guys, and I don't need any of the other players. Problem is 95% of the guys are unusable or not going to make your main team, and the other 5% you're not going to pack. So I pumped in all these cards that I had sitting in my club, or guys that I had just recently packed that were tradable, and I could have done the Ousmane Dembele SBC with it, but instead I'm putting these into like recycling icons and then getting an icon and putting them right back in, and it's eroding my cards away. And that's exactly what EA wanted, and it's what I preach you guys not to do. So I don't know if you want to use me as a use case for why you shouldn't do that, but the Prime icons have just not aged well, right? Like, so even Thierry Henry, for example, I went into a game with Thierry Henry. I had a lot of fun playing with him offline. He's a beast in terms of his shooting and his dribbling, but when you use him online, he's just too stiff, right? So when you're coming up against guys online, they've all got Diego Carlos or Sergio Ramos or Virgil van Dijk or all of the above, and everybody's got super quick center backs. So to have a guy like Thierry Henry, he's basically a really, really good day one card, and that's really all you can say about him. A lot of the icons are, even guys like Pele, you know, they've aged probably well enough. Maradona, who I end up picking up in this video, you guys will see later. He's a great card, but even him, like you look at his stats, and you know Phil Foden is just as good. Even though I think Maradona is better, I think some of the benefits behind icons are they've got body types that are different, and they've just got a little bit extra oomph to their cards. Like even though the stats might look identical to another card, there's something about that icon body type and the way they play. They're just a little bit stronger, and a little bit more technically gifted than a lot of the other cards. And again, that's probably all in my head, but there's just something that you feel a little bit of extra oomph with the icons that I've always really liked about having them. I don't like having a full team of icons because they're too slow, they're not agile, they generally don't have very good like balance, for example, even though Maradona does, but most of them don't. And that's the issue that I'm having right now. So Thierry Henry, fantastic shooter, but if he can't create his own shot, I'm not able to utilize that shot that much. He's fast, but he's not as fast as most center backs. He doesn't have the acceleration, right? He just feels, they feel like a train. Once they get going, they're going, but they take a long time to get there, right? They're not super quick. They don't accelerate as quick as a lot of these other cards do. Like my team of the season, Messi, he's 99 acceleration, 94 sprint speed, and I think then I have a basic chem style on him, which takes him to 99.99. He's rapid. But there's other guys that have 99.99 and they just don't feel that way. Like Adama Traore, he doesn't feel as quick as Messi. And I don't know if that has to do with the body type, if their body weight, if how light they are. But Messi is just gone. He's up and he's gone. He's just away, right? He's just fantastic. Adama Traore, again, dude, sluggish, slow. And then once he gets going, he's going. You know, he's not super slow, but he doesn't feel 99.99, right? So that's kind of the feeling that you get with a lot of these icons, is they're just big and bulky, and they don't feel agile, and they just have not aged well. They have not gone with a power curve. So they were great at the start, and then cards started to catch up and then overtake them. So if you've got all the coins in the world and you can just dump them into this, or if you're just one of these guys that just kind of blows it up at the end of FIFA, I like to keep my cards. I like to look back on them sometimes in like the Generations tab, so I don't just trade them and put it all into untradables. But at the same time, if you are one of those people, you can do the Prime Icon SBC. Maybe you'll get someone good, but I do not recommend it because the value is just not there. Like you, with the amount of like end game players that are just in the SBC section, I would just do that. Like I don't like leaving anything up to chance. You guys know that. Any of these like blind party packs, they're never any good, right? I've packed a couple good things, but the only times that I recommend doing them are like when the 85-92 was out, for example. Like that one kind of died off for me at the end, but for the most part, I was packing some really, really good cards. I was getting like, I got like 92 Harry Kane, which I know I'm not going to use Harry Kane, but he was great for SBC fodder, right? And I got that for 2 teams of non-rare gold cards. Like think about that. Like that SBC, I don't know if they thought about what they were doing, but man, I got some really good stuff in that SBC for very little, right? Like, look how much I got to put into this SBC, including Michael Ballack, who was another troll. I thought I actually had Lothar Matthäus, who I would have been so happy with, man. That was a player that would have went right into my team, and I was devastated because I didn't even think about Ballack, right? So I just got trolled so many times. I got trolled with Bearcamp. I got trolled with Ballack. Oh, and then as soon as you see the Italian flag, you just do one of these, and you're like, oh, no, man. And then as soon as I saw that, CDM 89, like, he's not even going to be a high-rated player for the SBC. Like, this is the type of disappointment that, like, more often than not happens. And, like, those small moments of euphoria that you have from packing somebody good don't cancel out the amount of disappointment. Like, I have not packed, I'm not even kidding, from one blind pack, I don't think I have packed a single player that has actually just like made my main team. Now, Carvajal, you could say, did very briefly, but I only kind of forced him in just because of the links, but I don't think he was... I mean, I put him in an SBC. You know what I mean? Like, because he was 94 rated. He was terrible. Trippier is a better right back than him. But if you look at my team, I don't think any of those players... Actually, sorry, I take that back. Jordan Henderson was. But, you know, that's one in, like, what, 1,000 that I've done? Like, I've done hundreds of these things throughout the year. Like, even this, Cannavaro. I was actually moderately excited to get Cannavaro, and I found out that he was terrible. Like, you know, at this stage in FIFA, he's just nowhere near good enough. Day one, that's a great card. You know what I mean? Like 80 pace, 84 acceleration, 77. But you can't keep up with anybody. And his passing and his dribbling are horrendous. He was such a bad passer. He couldn't handle the ball at all. He's just a lockdown defender, and you don't really need them because you can get that for like, 400K. You can go get Eder Militao. You know what I mean? Like, Cannavaro is worthless at this stage. So anyway, that was kind of like my rant on Prime Icon SBCs. I don't recommend doing them. I don't even recommend really doing the party bags. You can just do it and hope that if it's really cheap, you might get a good player. So why I put this gameplay in, this is actually obviously clearly not gameplay, but it's more the review at the end of the game. And I had to put this in there because this was a FUT Champs game from this past weekend where I was up 3-1 against this guy. This guy was so aggressive, and I've said this before. When I play against aggressive players, I almost always go down 1-0 and then end up winning. Like almost like clockwork. Like I do very well against aggressive guys because they pull players out of position. I know how to work my way around them using triangles and basic like understanding of the sport. And I always feel really confident. So I was never worried about getting back into this game. So I was actually up 3-1, and then I thought I was up 4-1, but one of my goals must have been offside. And for some reason, I thought I was up 4-1, and I got a penalty. And I was arrogant, and I played, like, I think I did a chip or something like that, and he ended up stopping the penalty, or I went right down the middle. I wasn't really, like, trying with the penalty, so to say. I wasn't clearly taking it as serious as I should have, and he ended up stopping it, and I screwed myself, because now I'm up 3-1, which I've always said is the worst lead in FIFA. So, at 3-1, after that penalty stop, he just became a beast. Like, his team, the momentum in the game just swung more aggressively than anything I've ever felt in my life. So if you go back, I think you guys will see this replay again, but at 3-1, after that penalty stop, excuse me, kind of midway through the second half, the momentum was so strong, I couldn't stop it. And I was trying every tactic in the book to just prevent it, but as you guys can see, like, my players aren't stopping anything at this point. Like, this is actually an extra time, but he ends up going down the wing. I read it with Trippier. I'm putting in tackles. His Sané's bouncing off of me, and then it just kind of warped him in front. He takes a shot. My Ter Stegen knocks it straight up into the air and then falls over. Now, not only does he knock it into the air, he knocks it more central, and he falls over, so he's completely out of the play. But I'm okay. I've got 3 defenders standing right underneath it, but you can just see his Ousmane Dembele is the only guy reacting. All my other guys, I think this is it right here. None of my players do anything. They all just stand there and they all run around like idiots. And the only guy that looks like he's locked in is Dembele. Like, look at them. They all go under the ball. None of them do anything. They're all idiots. And Dembele sprints above all of them, jumps up in the air, flies above all of them, excuse me. And then he just powers a header down 3-2. Now, we go into the 90th minute, and my team's on ultra defensive because I'm just trying to hold on to this lead. Like, I just want him to lock it down. So he gets this break for some reason because both of my wingbacks flew forward. I don't know how that happened, but they just were bombed forward, and I was caught on this odd man rush. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna jump over to one side because what I wanted to do was rush the ball carrier and hope that he would panic and play the ball offside to Zlatan. So not only does Zlatan hold his run, but one of my other defenders kept him onside. So he plays the ball over to Zlatan, and his player goes into a shooting animation. Already, the ball comes through his leg, and as he's going down, it connects, and he goes near post, and my keeper short arms it, and it flies in the near post. 90th minute cheese. So now I'm in extra time with this guy, which I don't know what happened because I was like owning him. I thought I should have been up 5-1. Like, I was just totally killing this guy, but just the swing, like, credit to this guy, like, I don't know how he did it, but like just the swing was more aggressive than anything I've ever felt in my life. And then he just walked around me in extra time and killed me in extra time. Like, I couldn't do anything. He was just sprinting past my players. I think he scored 3 goals in extra time, and I just couldn't stop it. So anyway, I was just totally in shock. Like, I've never had a swing that aggressive that I could not stop, and his players were just beasts. I couldn't do anything about it. So it ends up winning 6-3, I think. And then we go into this next game, and with all credit to this guy, I'm not here to shame him by any means, but this guy was not a good player. You can tell by the way he plays there. It's just literally back and forth. But look at my defenders. They're literally diving. They're not intercepting anything. They're doing dumb things. This guy, like, my team had fallen through the floor. Just like I said in my handicap video, when you draw or you lose, your team just drops. and I just could not stop it. So he went up 1-0, and I was just thinking, like, how am I losing to this guy? And I'm not even kidding. I'm not trying to be one of those guys that's just like, oh my God, I'm better than everybody. This guy was not anywhere near what I would consider of a good player at all. Like, and again, I'm not trying to shame him. I apologize if I left his tag in there. It's not about that. But like, look at that touch. I didn't take that touch with Messi. I tried to collect the ball, and he automatically just bounces the ball off his foot, takes him way out of position. Like, this stuff was happening all game. So my goal that I score, you guys can even see my defender, the way he defended it. I get the ball into Aguero, and I just cut back, and then I see his defender he's gonna come just make this really dumb slide tackle. So I just pulled back, his defender falls to the ground. I smash a shot, it hits the post, of course, bounces back to my guy, his keeper falls out of the way. And the only reason that I was able to score that goal was because I went ultra attacking. So my team got out of this daze and they ended up scoring a goal, or else I would have lost it. Like, the custom tactics are so ridiculous. And of course, we go into extra time. And in extra time, I was just in shock that I was even in extra time with this guy. Because normally, if I'd won my last couple games and my team was playing fine, I would have probably killed this guy. Like, it would have, I'm not even exaggerating, this guy's like, look at the guy's offside. Like, 6-7-1. Like, this guy was really bang average, very bang average, right? And again, not a knock against him. I'm not trying to shame anybody, but it's just like, I know the quality of skill level that I'm used to playing against, and this guy was just in FUT Champs because he must have just gotten a free qualification through playing divisions or whatever. So in extra time, I didn't run at all. This was the only time you'd hit sprint, but that's why I didn't hold sprint, because look at the touch to ball it takes. Things were just bouncing off of these guys. Like, look at how heavy that touch is. I'm honestly in shock that Allison didn't come out and just slide tackle him, because it felt like everything that I was doing, they were either stuck in mud or the ball was bouncing off of them. This is after one loss. So, like, after that, I didn't even hold sprint. If you watch any of these highlights from here on forward, I'm literally just walking up the field. There's no sprint. No sprint being held at all from me. I don't think he touched the ball at all in that second half. Or, sorry, during extra time, at least from halfway through the extra time. Like, even here, you know, I'm not even sprinting. I'm just, like, kind of walking up the field. My Messi's holding off the guy. Just do one simple fake shot. Like, he's just diving in. His defenders aren't doing anything. I had to just literally break the game through either tactics or not sprinting. Literally just walking and just letting his guys run all over the place and just making simple passes. Every time I got into attacking positions, my players would run offside, so I'd have to, like, turn around and cycle back and wait for them to come back onside, and then I would just do an X pass to him in order for him to be able to, like, attack. Like, it was so broken that I didn't even know what to do. Like, this whole game was so ridiculous that even after breaking it with, like, stupid BS that I had to do, like, it was still unsatisfying. Like, I beat this guy, I think, at 5-1, right? I just scored that fifth goal in the end because he'd stopped playing. But, you know what I mean? Like, it was just, I'm speechless over it. Like, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, this is just so stupid. This game is filled with such cancerous stuff at this stage in FIFA that, like, I don't blame anybody for not playing it. Like, this weekend, I'm not even in FUT Champs yet because I had played those couple games, but I ended up getting busy, ended up having plans on the rest of the weekend, so I couldn't finish high enough in order to get to Silver 2 or whatever. So now I'm not even qualified for FUT Champs. So now the only game mode that I can play is Division Rivals. Like, I think I have a free FUT Draft token, which I'm going to use throughout this week, but I can't even play it. Like, I can't play FUT Champs now. I have to play Rivals, which I have said for years is, like, not years, but I've said all year that it's the worst mode they've ever created. Like, you are literally playing yourself. Like, it's just draws, it's just sweat. Like, it doesn't matter what division you are in. I'm in Division 4, and I'm just coming up against monsters every game. I can't even imagine what the higher divisions are like. But if you're in Division 7, you're just playing yourself. If you're in Division 8, you're playing yourself. If you're in Division 4, you're playing yourself. If you're in Division 1, you're just playing other Division 1s. Like, it's so awful, man. Like, skill-based matchmaking is just so unfun because, like, the games are sweat after rat after rat after rat after sweat after sweat after sweat. Like, they're just not fun at all. And I'm not trying to be one of those guys that's, you know, I hate FIFA. FIFA sucks. Like, I love FIFA, but, man, there's nothing to do on it. And, like, I get anxiety at the idea of having to play it because it's just like, I know I'm just in for this game that's just going to cause me stress. Like, it's just going to be so stressful to play it, and it makes me not want to play it. I'm just doing it because I'm trying to grow this channel, and it's just over and over and over, like, just playing like the same guys, and they all have freak teams, right? Because we're so late in the year. And it's really unfortunate because this is the time of year where you should really be playing it the most. Like, content creators are playing GTA. The game's 7 years old. Okay, this game's been out for like, what, 8 months, 9 months, something like that. It's got 20 patches. 20. And like, the game is not even that old. Like, people have quit it already, and they've been quit for months, right? They stopped playing this months ago. They stopped after team of the season, and that's not right. Like, this is when you should want to be playing, because this is what you worked all year to do. Everyone plays FIFA at the start of the year, but you've worked all year to get this team that is like your end game team, and you don't even want to play with them because the game modes are so toxic and they're so awful and they're so not fun that there's nothing to do with them. So you just built this team that you can just look at. And if you go into a game mode, it creates so much anxiety and stress that you just end up not wanting to play it, right? So anyway, again, I apologize for sounding like negative Nancy here. It's just I don't know any other way to explain it. Like, I don't know what to do with them. I just got Maradona. I want to play with them. I want to use them, but I don't know where I'm going to use them. If I go into division rivals, I'm playing against these freaks every single game with freak teams, and then if I lose a game, they play like crap, like they did in the last couple games, and I'm having to take them offline. Like, it's just this rinse and repeat over and over and over again, and it's exhausting, man. Like, this game should not be exhausting. This should be fun, man. We should be having fun playing this and like enjoying ourselves, and you just don't. Like, and again, I'm like a positive guy, try to like keep upbeat and like want to encourage people to play FIFA, and I just am having such a hard time giving you a reason to play it. Now, I hope you watch my videos, and I hope you enjoy FIFA enough that if you're watching it this late in the year, you're just like, this is still fun. But man, I don't blame anybody for not playing it, because it is just like, they tried some new stuff this year, but it didn't work. Like, they got to bring back the casuals to this game, because it is just incredible how much it's just like win at all costs. Because if you don't win, you don't get the cards, and if you don't get the cards, you can't compete, and it's not fun. It becomes this vicious cycle, and people just go, you know what? I'm done with this, man. I'm done with it. I'm selling off my team, and I don't even care. I'm just gonna go play something else. I'll go play F1. I'll go play GTA or whatever. So anyway, like, I hope that that's not the case, man. I hope people can play it, but like, unless FIFA 21 comes out with some new game modes, like, we're just kind of stuck with this the way it is. So anyway, like, that sounds like me being really awful, and I'm trying to encourage people to watch my videos, not watch them. But you know, maybe the SBCs will change your mind. Maybe the SBCs will be where the content is at. So I just saw that they released a La Liga one, so I'm probably gonna go do that. I'm just gonna have to muster up the coins somehow and try to like hopefully not get Gerard Moreno again, but fingers crossed, you know, I get Messi. So anyway, as we end off this video, we did put a bunch of stuff in the party bag, and this was like a really good analogy for like my experience on FIFA so far. I've got 3 cards that probably aren't in one of those 2 teams. I've rinsed my club of almost everything. I almost had to like start from scratch, and I was able to scrounge up enough cards to put together one of those party bag SBCs, thinking I might get a big guy that I can at least put in SBC. And of course, we pack Lucas friggin' Hernandez, who's one of the only cards that I actually have in my squad. So I just, I just thought that was really funny. So we put him into the Ousmane Dembele. We started doing that. We finally did one of the 88 rated squads. So hopefully we'll be able to unlock him before the end of this game cycle, but we have very little to work with right now. So I'm going to have to go back in and start playing and see if we can get some more cards into the club so I can finish off that SBC, because right now it's not looking good. But this Friday, I'm thinking that they're going to release the team of the seasons for every league, so that will be pretty fun. That'll be exciting, and that will be enjoyable to use. So that is going to be the end of this episode. I appreciate you guys sticking with me to the very end. If you guys could like the video down below, if you're not already, follow the channel. I appreciate you guys sticking with me throughout this little journey here, this half-hour journey, and have a good rest of the week. Thank you guys for watching.